What are the like Masonic like cult things that you're talking about?
I was right. Nick Fuentes, Ryan Dawson, all of them were wrong. And I like Nick. You remember our problems. Me and you were there. It was me
Right.
yelling at
Oh,
Ryan.
yeah.
But yeah,
You
all
were
us.
really annoying that stream though.
Yeah, I was,
We
I
were
don't know
trying
what
to have
the
like a
fuck I
real
was doing.
conversation. You just kept screaming.
But check it out. I was right because they all laughed when I said the final war will be Zionists and Muslims, and then they'll add this LGBT Luciferian agenda. And I quote mine this from Albert Pike, and I posted on Twitter when I got laughed at by all these intellectuals. And now I thought it would happen in a few years, but now look what's happening on TV. I reposted the tweet and everyone is bowing to my feet that I was right. I predicted this. So when Nick was studying who's the powerful elite, his prediction was not accurate. Um, Ryan Dawson predictions weren't accurate. They were saying the right stuff, but there was no predictions.
Mhm.
Me, 100% correct in my prediction way too early. I didn't know it would start within this month. So when I retweeted that, I was like, holy shit, I'm the only one. I'm the only one.
Can you
I'm the only one studying the real shit. If Nick and Dawson were studying Freemasonry, they would have been able to predict it like me, but they laughed it off and said it's nothing. It's stupid.
Okay, so what did you, sorry, explain that more, what you predict. Because at the time I just didn't know what you were talking about.
I didn't do shit. The Pope of Freemasonry, Albert Pike, he's the Grand Wizard, pretty much the general. He wrote Morals and Dogma, this book I read, and he predicted to his letters to someone, he predicted 3 world wars. They were very accurate. And the third one he said will be between Zionists and Muslims, but both will lose, he said, because there would be so much bloodshed on both sides. And then they implement this Luciferian utopia, which what I think that is that pride LGBT shit worldwide they're going to do. But the point I'm making is because Nick and Dawson did not study Freemasonry, they didn't read his prediction. They said his prediction is just an old man, whatever. I posted the prediction, his prediction, and I was 100% correct. So now I think those two and everyone who studies power and who rules us, they should start with the Freemasons, because now it's not just a club. If they're predicting stuff this accurate, they're more than a club, right? So I think if Freemasons, the Jesuits, the liberal Jesuits in the Vatican, this is the ruling class, the top of the top of the top of the top. Everyone laughed at me. Who's laughing?
And they're
now?
the like Satan worshipers?
Yeah, they're Luciferians. So they have like the cult splits into 2 left-hand, right-hand path of like Luciferian or Satanist, sun or moon. So the Luciferians run on emotion. So they have high anxiety and stuff. They have an obsession with stimulation. So those are kind of like, think of your meth heads, but they enjoy doing evil in that intense way, in a way where it's like ritualistic. And the Satanists enjoy evil in a chaotic way, where it's not that it's not on this date, they're more carnage, destroy everything. But it's the same fucking group of evil, right? So it's kind of like think of 2 ruling families, and one's more evil than the other, but they're both fucking disgusting.
Okay, and so the 2, they predicted that.
Well, Pike predicted it, the top authority of Freemasonry.
Okay.
So think of,
are they public or no?
Oh, it wasn't meant for the public, but we have these books. They're so hard to read and they're veiled in allegory and stuff, so no one can actually decipher these books. But his notes were not meant to be public, and his letters, and his letters predicted the 2 world wars and then that Islamic Zionist final war. He called it the final.
And then what's going to happen? Is that like the end of times or something?
They just say that they're going to implement a new system because they say when there's enough bloodshed, people adopt. Humans need to adopt a religion when there's too much bloodshed.
And is that like the Rockefellers? Are they part of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's like stuff Alex Jones talks about, but like I just talk about the Jesuits in the Catholic Church as the top of the pyramid and anything linked to Freemasonry.
Okay. No, because I know that a lot of I was just talking to someone about this. Like their thinking is they want to get rid of all the differences. So like the man and woman difference. And I don't know if it's the Rockefellers or some other big family, but I guess there's these big families that are like liberal and they want to get rid of the gender differences. They want to get rid of all the religion differences. They want to get rid of all the races. and just make everything into one.
Yeah.
Does this coincide with what you're saying?
Yeah, like a communist super state where they abolish private property and everyone's identical.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like a it's gonna come as a gift to us. It's gonna be
Yeah.
like, here's your new super city with
Do you think they'll win?
yeah.
Oh,
You do too. Everyone does. Look what they did with a cough.
yeah.
They're winning hard.
So is there any like hope or is it over?
That's why I'm here.
Oh, that's
That's
why
why
you're
the
here.
CIA put me in here, a comedian. I'm just a comedian. But no, at the end of the day, God wins. So it's
Mhm.
like, this is just a material suffering world, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, look at it like this: we're given paradise. The feminine Eve
Mhm.
says, I want more, and bites. God's punishment comes down to hit her and Adam. And then God, being the most merciful, sends his only begotten Son to conquer death and save us from sin.
Mhm.
If you think about it, we're already saved. We're with Jesus. But are we going to see a lot of fuck shit in this material world from these kind of governments? Oh yeah, it's going to get bad. But I'm optimistic because like I don't believe in Jesus as like a profile picture. Like I hear him.
You hear him.
It's like your conscience. When you do
Mhm.
something good, you hear, you
Yeah.
feel the Holy Spirit.
You know, it's really interesting because I think a lot about how different of a time because how you're 30, 29,
29, yeah.
29. So I'm 26 and I feel like an internet kind of came when I was in high school, like smartphones, or like when I was in 8th grade, I got my first smartphone. It kind of got big when I was in high school. And I think about how the interactions between men and women are so different. Um, you know,
Oh, you mean post-digital age? Like, yeah.
like, even I was thinking about I was watching, like, some, like, pictures and videos from, like, the '20s, and people are like you go out to a club and people are, like, twirling around, like, dancing like, it's very different now. I feel like men and women I actually am gonna predict that the next generation of women is gonna have less sex than ever. I think women are gonna get less slutty.
Really?
Yeah, I think people are gonna it's gonna be like Japan where people just stop talking to each other altogether.
But the end, they'll be losing to robots?
Yeah, well, I think women will still be like attention but I was looking so I went to this this like event thing and it was like the first time I'd been out in like forever. And it was like there was like a dance floor and no one was on it, right? And all the men were like on one side and all the women were on the other and then there's a couple people talking in the middle, but I was thinking I'm like it's not like anyone's going to hook up after this. You know, because I was like, if they do, it'll be like maybe those 5 over there. I'm like, I bet you the next generation is just gonna be antisocial.
Yeah, like
Kinda like
awkward as fuck. Like you see it in the Zoomers right now.
yeah,
When I
yeah,
anytime I see like my nephews and stuff, I go, whoa, they're acting so weird. I
yeah,
didn't act like that at that age.
yeah. So I think you're gonna see like they just stop talking to each other because there's such a cost now, even for men to just like talk to women. Like I just watched a video of a guy that he was approaching women for interviews and he was told he was harassing women. He wasn't even asking for anything sexual. So it's like,
If he's harassing women, what am I doing?
yeah.
I should be locked up. Really? He just asked him a question
Mhm,
and
mhm.
yeah. Well, he deserves it because these men will not fight for that freedom to talk to whoever, right? The freedom of thought and speech, because they'll be like, oh, well, they start backtracking. I didn't think you'd get mad. When you're harassing me with your microphone, you have to say, shut up, bitch. That's when you dispel all of that. All of that power goes away. Do you know how many liberal feminists have left me alone? When they used to say, hey, what you're saying is verbal abuse, I'd say, here's why it's not, like Andrew Tate, and I'd explain why it's not verbal abuse. They'd be on my ass, canceling me and hurting my paycheck for years. The second I switched the game plan and said, shut up, bitch, they just left me alone. They said, this guy's not playing within our, they really want you to play within their spell casting of, just like how you said, who's a better Catholic? They do who's more politically correct. No, you have to immediately, or say a slur, right? So sometimes I'll be like, this woman is a faggot. Immediately, all the feminists leave me alone because they go, he is not worth canceling. He is unstable. Leave him alone. He cannot be canceled because he's actively using these words. It's not like we caught him saying it. Evil cannot be confronted. It can only stab you in the back. So if you feel any evil, if a woman says you're harassing me, say, shut up, bitch. And that evil will go away. Even, like, think about it. You're getting the same consequences. So whether you say shut up, bitch, or not, she's giving you the same consequences. Your principal's going to know. The police will be called. Whether you're rude or not, the same evil's happening to you. So you might as well test it out. And for me, it's working great. I've been left alone. All feminists gave up. Have you seen what I say on Twitter? Everyone gave up on me. They're like, he's a lost cause. He's just, I think to be right wing, you don't do what Andrew Tate does, where you're a sexist. And Andrew Tate goes, actually, here's why I'm not a sexist. And this one time
well, I also think
to be right wing is free speech.
Yeah.
So if they say, Zherka, you're a sexist, you have to say, yes, I am. That's what.
Yeah, I think Tate's trying to get out of legal trouble, though, is my guess.
He's always like that. He loves to argue with women. He's very feminine like that. Where if you watch any of my clips, when girls are attacking me, yelling at me, I don't debate them. I smile like they're children, because it's literally Arthur Schopenhauer and every intellectual throughout history said women never level up from a child's mindset. If you start arguing with a woman, you know what you're actually psychically telling her? We're equals. So if you start arguing with your girlfriend, you're saying, argue with me forever because you're my equal. You're making me better. But real men don't argue with their girlfriends. It's your way or the highway.
I think there's some Bible verse about not using big words. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I say things and it's funny. The people that are like, know the Bible, like the back of their hand will like back me. You know how like you'll say things and I'll find you like a historical like fact to like back you up.
Yeah. You'll blackpill me more.
Yeah. Sometimes like this happens with like the Bible. I call them like the Bible people that just know it very well.
Well, here's the thing.
And I have a shtick about how I think I don't like big words and I don't like overcomplicating things. And so people will call me, like, one of my biggest complaints is people think I'm dumb, but I literally hate big words and I hate making things overly complicated because it's like, if you can't explain it simply, then I just don't trust you.
Yeah.
And I think that's how all these experts, they like try to talk over your heads. And
it's corny when they just go for big words. It's so corny. And
that's why I say women are dumb.
Women are dumb. Yeah, women are very dumb.
And obviously there's exceptions, but not really.
No, there's none. Imagine, check this. Imagine 3 billion women and not one of those, let's say there are 3 billion models, not one said, if I keep my virginity, I get a billionaire husband.
Yeah.
How did 3 billion get the science experiment wrong?
Yeah.
That is terrible. 3 billion women got it wrong.
No, even me, I was thinking about it. I was like, I spent my early 20s chasing a volleyball contract that pays like $0.
I know what it is, though.
It pays actually some, but not a lot.
Women are so socially calibrated. Like 3 billion men, when I sit in a room, I go, I need to be different from this room. That's kind of why I love being around degenerate people.
Yeah.
I've always been around Hell's Angels, criminals, because then I would want to be closer to Jesus, because I don't want to be like these fucking tattooed weirdos.
Yeah.
And so anytime I'm around degenerates, I feel like I'm glowing, like I'm the good guy, because I want to be different all the time. I don't want to be like the room, which is bad, because if I'm in a room with good people, I become the worst person there. I just have to do the opposite.
I kind of relate to that.
Yeah, but check it out. Women are so socially calibrated. They always have to fit in the pack. The 3 billion of them, none of them swam upstream and did the opposite, because they have to be like each other. They can't be different from the crowd.
Oh my God. Well, it's it's hard. Like, I get so much flack. Like it's
not hard to be a woman. For thousands of years, you guys have had it good.
Yeah, you're right. I just mean, like, if you do, you get so much flack and most women can't deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. But now I realize that if it's true about that, what is it? The criminal, 80% of them come from a single mother, not single parent.
Yeah.
Single mother household. Damn, lock up these moms. I would lock them all up. I'd be like, what the fuck? You're
I
bringing in that much crime?
I think men should automatically get custody.
Okay,
Automatically, that's what
let's
I
go.
think.
I like
I
this.
mean,
That's way
that's
better than mine, but we're doing
patriarchal.
both.
No, no, because honestly, Zherka, I have a little bit of a nuanced opinion. I don't think all women should have children because there are some crackhead moms that I just, oh my God, no.
Yeah, but
No,
what if
no,
they have
no,
a
no.
husband?
Oh yeah, no, I say the new generation of women.
What do you mean? They're on crack?
No, okay. So there are women that I've met on the show, and like I've interviewed so many chicks that it's like I'll meet chicks and I'm like, if you have children, they're gonna be fucking degenerate crackheads.
Yeah, but God still wants them to procreate. So I'm still gonna fight
I
for the
don't know, like
crackhead.
Brit, like
Leave those crackhead moms alone. They just need a husband that's a
no, no.
crackhead. Get a husband,
Oh,
crackhead.
Christ, husband crackhead. Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, what are we saying? Let the kids stay with just the crackhead husband. Just the dad. That's how we fix the fucking kid. Then the kids sell weed. They don't sell crack.
I don't know. I've just met.
Yeah, but that's eugenics. You're going to tell some families you can't have babies?
Not can't, but some of them don't want to.
I have a feeling most women who have kids didn't want their kids. You know, like it was a whoops.
Really?
Yeah, you think they planned? You think all these births you see are like planned?
I mean, they can get an abortion.
I think
They can get an abortion.
80% of babies are accidents. That's what I think. There's no way people are planning kids. People are too dumb.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? You can tell me.
No, I think women are too. So, Zherka, we can only get pregnant like 3 days a month.
Holy shit, that's real?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got duped, she duped you.
Yeah. You can only, like, there's only like 3 days a month. Chicks can get pregnant. We have Plan B. We have birth control. You can get an IUD that's like 99.
3 days? Was it? When are they?
I mean, I think it's like maybe up to 5, but really there's like 3 days that you're really ovulating. It's like the week after your period, basically.
I thought every girl I ever dated tried to get pregnant with me because I'm like, oh, I'm a Chad. But apparently, even with average guys, they want to. That's what you're saying? Like they just all want to have kids? Deep down?
No.
So then they are accidents.
No, I'm saying they're not accidents.
Huh.
I'm saying that if you can only get pregnant 3 days a month, even if you mess up, you have Plan B, you have an IUD, you have like 40 forms of birth control. I really don't believe in female accidental pregnancies. Even if I like the chick and she tells me it was an accident, I don't really believe it. Like,
Damn,
I
so
just don't.
all of them are liars.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
All you bitches are liars.
Yeah.
Man, and trapping a man for 18
I think the men may be accidents, but women no. Because here's the thing: like you don't see women accidentally get pregnant by losers.
But well,
like,
I have a strong
know,
counter argument.
Okay.
Women are stupid. You really think they know which day of the month it is? Like, oh, I can get pregnant today. They're too stupid. No, it's an accident.
But they still will get abortions. Like I know someone that's like a good looking guy, but not like he's pretty unstable, and he's had like 3 women abort his kid. 3.
Yeah, bitches do love killing babies. That's the one thing women are better at than men is killing babies.
Yeah, even before abortion, they did it in like 1800s. It was not uncommon. I've talked to some historians that say 15 to 20% of kids after birth were killed even before abortion.
Like every time you look at female nature, it's always sneaky shit.
Yeah, it's always evil.
Something evil.
I think it makes way more sense that women are liars when it comes to accidental pregnancies.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we more of, liars or stupid? It's tough.
But is there a want? They want the baby? Is there? I have a feeling there's a subconscious want. Like they all want to get pregnant.
Yeah, by the right guy. But like I don't think a woman will accidentally get pregnant by the wrong guy. I really don't think it happens. And if it does, she's taking a Plan B and getting an abortion.
Damn.
Like think about it. 1 out of 3 women have had an abortion. That's why I say
that means a lot of Christian women.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're Christians until they're not. So, okay, so these Freemasons. So what did you like learn from like the Freemason stuff?
The biggest thing I learned is that Jesus is real and all the real evidence of Jesus is hidden in the Vatican. That's why we're given like this hippie art and hippie Jesus. Well, just like the Bible says, the tops of like every institution, especially now for end times, they're all going to be subverted. They're all going to be evil. And why did they give you evolution? Attack on the cross. Why did they give you ancient aliens? Attack on the cross. Why did they give you
Yeah, I don't
the
believe
Big Bang Theory? Attack on the cross.
I don't believe in aliens.
You
I
don't believe in
don't.
the Big Bang Theory either, do you? It's like, how you know an
Mm.
explosion means chaos, but this explosion put everything into perfect order. That's the fucking most retarded intellectual design from no designer. This is the weirdest way to look at the world.
So I don't understand though. You believe in flat Earth, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't people just fall off the end?
Well, how can like what is the end? First of all,
I don't know.
it would be Antarctica, the Arctic Circle.
That's the end.
That's the shoreline.
But wouldn't there be like a wall or something?
Well, that the highest shoreline on Earth is the ice wall, Antarctica. So the water would be this table, and then it'd be this would be the end.
Okay.
And then you'd say, well, what's that way? Like,
Mhm.
where's the edge? The only treaty never broken by 57 nations is the Antarctic Treaty. You are not allowed to explore there. But the first person to explore Antarctica, Admiral Byrd, he said that there is more land with, it's not snow, it's better resources and minerals, the size of North America. And he, as he's talking, behind him, there's a video, there's footage on YouTube, Admiral Byrd. As he's talking in front of a flat Earth azimuthal equidistant map, the map that airplane pilots use for autopilot. They don't use your dumbass Mercator or your fucking globe or none of that. They use our map. And think about it, this map distorts continents. Why would an autopilot system ever risk crashing a plane with a map that just makes North America a little smaller, this one bigger,
Mhm.
and there's an ice wall on this map? Why do they use, there's 1 billion different maps,
Mhm.
and they use the flat Earth azimuthal equidistant map for autopilot. That's why a compass is a flat Earth instrument. It only points to north. There is no south pole on a compass. Because south, here's magnetic north. You circumnavigate east to west. That's how a compass circumnavigates, just like the sun. And then south would just be 180 degrees away from north. So southward.
So that guy says there's like more land in Antarctica.
Yeah, Admiral Byrd.
Is there anyone there, according to him, or it's just empty?
Well, as soon as they discovered this, it got militarized by 57 nations, and no one's allowed to go there. There's some flat earthers.
Why?
There's some flat earthers who took a boat and filmed it going to Antarctica from the edge
No
of
way.
Australia, and they're filming it, and the boat pulls up and says they're going to shoot them down, and it's all on YouTube. Yeah, it's got a bunch of views
Wow.
and stuff. And also, flat Earth is the most Googled topic in Google history. Think of everything Nick Fuentes talks about. Think of everything that Crowder and all the doesn't even compare.
Well, you know what? I kind of gauge people's like it's weird. Whenever I hear people fight back really hard on an issue, like that's so stupid, that's so stupid. I like think maybe there. I'm not saying I'm a flat earther. I don't really know.
Look at the
But I'm more open to it when people have this pushback and don't and like can't explore the idea without having an emotional reaction because I think that's something programmed. You know, from like a young age. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's
well, it
stupid.
would if the Earth is not a sphere that spins on the axis of 66.6, another Freemason Galileo number, something that shatters your worldview is by definition a trauma. So flat Earth is traumatic to people. That's why they laugh uncontrollably, or they cry, or they freak out. But it drives anxiety into the human psyche, right? Who is a flat earther? Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are leaked flat earthers. Nick Fuentes, all the biggest minds on the internet are all admitted flat earthers. And some will have to admit it as a joke, but then there's leaked footage of them defending it. And some will have to say this is not a topic that they can talk about, but they are flat earthers. But who's got all the money in the intellectual dark web that donates to all these kind of channels? All the crypto fascists are flat earthers. And these guys have all the crypto, like all the biggest brain conspiracy theorists are flat earthers. They don't believe in hollow earth. They don't believe in aliens. They don't, just the Bible and flat earth. And I mean, what's the alternative? Dinosaurs and aliens? If they think about it, Ancient Aliens is funded Like it is mainstream, right? So that should tell you it's fake. Everything mainstream is fake.
Yeah.
COVID, aliens, dinosaurs. They wouldn't imagine if they pumped all the ancient aliens money into a Jesus movie. They're not allowed to do it. It's illegal to make a movie about Jesus. They gave us Passion of the Christ, which is garbage. Give us a sci-fi budget for one Jesus. If one verse can turn someone into a Christian and change their life, imagine a movie like Avatar. But it's illegal to do. They are
It's illegal?
Yeah, there's no Jesus movie.
Well, yeah, but
Name a Jesus movie
no,
with a
but
high budget.
right, but I'm saying like that's not illegal though.
It is illegal. Why has nobody ever done it?
What?
Hollywood,
is there a law against it?
No. Hollywood has to sign off.
Oh,
right?
I see.
So
okay.
they'll say no. They'll veto. Kind of like Eyes Wide Shut, my favorite movie that exposes this kind of stuff and satanic circles and stuff. Eyes Wide Shut, they took out an hour of the child sacrifice ritual scene of the movie. But it's like if you're Stanley Kubrick, you're let's say you're posting your movie or uploading on YouTube. Who the fuck in Hollywood is saying, wait, before you post, we have to edit out an hour? There's always a gatekeeper. And that's what I'm saying. The gatekeeper, he doesn't want to edit out the Jesus parts. You're not allowed to make a movie on Christ. If one piece of scripture can convert someone and totally save them from prison, gangster life to good Christian, you know how powerful a high budget Jesus movie would be where he resurrects and they have the $1 billion budget like Avatar, but it's very big no. They're not allowed to do it. And that's why they gave us like whipping a Jewish guy, Passion of the Christ. What the fuck was that? That's got to be the lowest budget movie I've ever seen in my life. Those are garbage.
So, okay, so why would all these countries come together and like hide Antarctica or whatever?
Well, they all work for this top of the pyramid, right? Like,
oh, so that's like the Masonic people, or
yeah. At the top, it'll be anyone subverting Christ. But just ask yourself, why was for the Soviet Union, why is 90% of Russian technology given to them by the US? Is there really a Cold War? Why the fuck would you give your enemy 90% of their technology that they use today? US gave them that technology because everyone knows Russia's US's bitch. Do you really think Israel versus Palestine, there's not a conflict. Israel's huge, Palestine's like a mosquito to them. Same with Russia and US. US is huge, Russia's a mosquito, but they always give you this 50-50 battle, like USA versus Afghanistan. It's not a fuck. What are you talking about? It's not a war of attrition. They literally they extend the length of war. It doesn't mean the Afghanis are fighting better. Do you really believe Afghanis held Americans at bay for like decades? Nobody buys this shit. US is a super titan. Afghanistan's a fucking mosquito. But they always tell us, like, oh, the Cold War, Russia, US. No.
So you're saying it's like a distraction?
Yeah. There are nations and states that compete with each other, just like how, let's say, 12 mafia families, they'll all be twisted and rape and murder each other's wives. So sometimes they're all in on the same project. COVID is the project or whatever. But then there'll be a defector that just starts stabbing the shit out of another family and killing them and taking Ukraine for themselves. So it's like a mafia. They shuffle the pieces, but ultimately they have the same goal.
Okay, so they all came together and decided to hide Antarctica. But I'm just like, why would they do that?
The same reason they hide. Why do they give you dinosaurs or aliens? It's an attack on the Bible. Because the first page talks about the firmament. So the earth cannot
So if it's round, that's an attack on the Bible.
If the earth is flat to the regular scholar, the Bible's legitimacy goes up 90%. That would change the fabric of society immediately. Imagine if they said NASA got it wrong, but that ancient scroll got it right. Everyone would panic and say NASA's force feeding us CGI photos, like you believe in the Mars rover stuff, or my favorite is Jupiter. You know how there's a storm on Jupiter? Just Google pagan god Jupiter. He's the storm god. Like you believe there's a raging storm on Jupiter because they linked it to the storm god from either Greece or Rome. But it's hilarious. Or when you search up the hexagon in Saturn, the hex, have you seen that?
No.
Anyways, what I'm saying is all these planets that they talk about are linked to those pagan gods. They're kind of laughing at you. They're like, Pearl believes there's a raging thunderstorm in Jupiter. Who believed in a raging thunder god is the ancient Greeks and Romans. Like, it's the same religion, but they repackaged it for.
So basically, these groups you think have the secrets of the world, basically, in a way.
Yeah.
Do you think they started America? Because I read something. There was a guy who like predicted that America, and this was like 300-400 years ago.
100% George Washington, Freemason.
Yeah, because when you think about it, America kind of messes up the order of the world. Because before it used to be everyone, it was like the order of the world was God, government, man, woman, child. And I've kind of gone back and forth with thinking if I believe God and the government should be together. I question because I wonder sometimes if that's a way, like you don't want religious like persecution, like that sort of thing.
Why not? Of course we want that.
I don't know. I would just think like
there's one. First of all, there's one religion that's correct. The rest.
Well, I guess I think of it like this. Like I wouldn't, as a Catholic, I wouldn't want to, if I was in a Muslim country, not be able to practice like being a Catholic. You know, everyone thinks.
Yeah, but again, that's an equality argument that Christ
right.
and Allah are the same.
Yeah.
All religions teach you things you can do good things, and you take steps up towards God. But you don't know if you're saved. You're just taking steps. You just take many steps. Christianity is the only religion that says your leg is broken. You're not taking another step, and Jesus is coming down the steps to save you. Just accept. This is the only religion that guarantees you're saved. Every other religion is like, good luck. They're not religions. They're not trying to save you. They're political systems, most of them. And Christianity is the only one that is, when you stitch a Christian mindset to your psyche, you start understanding the world. Like everything makes sense. Sin, everything. Especially how ancestral sin gets passed. If your dad was an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic. See, science can talk all day about COVID and all that dumb shit, but that's sin. You're passing down sin.
Really?
Yeah. Like if your dad's an alcoholic, you have a high chance that you will deal with that sin. So basically, Christianity, it explains the world when science just says Big Bang, monkey, and it's just like the dumbest way to go about. Or check this out. The greatest intellectuals throughout history, Da Vinci and all of them, came through a Christian era. So could you imagine Steven Crowder if he was born in the 1700s, like let's say, and they love to say dark ages, medieval times is the worst time to live, and it was just disgusting. But they always invert it. They always invert the truth. So I think the medieval times was the best time for everyone on earth, but they hide that history in the Vatican. That's everyone. Everyone knows they invert the truth.
Well,
why wouldn't they invert history, which is already warped? The timeline of history is so warped.
Well, that's why I was actually thinking I've always been very much like free market, like
free market is degeneracy, though.
And that's actually what I realized is that because it's like putting money at the top of everything.
You incentivize the dollar, no matter what, people are going to start taking their clothes off for money. So the byproduct of the free market is degeneracy.
Yeah, and that's when you really look at the history of America. It's like even in the 1600s, we were leading in divorce.
Yeah.
Like we had more divorces in America from the colonies, which had way less people. And we had, I think, double the amount of divorces they did.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was just from the colonies. Like the people in England, like the colonies would go back to England and they couldn't believe the divorces that were approved in America. So this idea that America was like this super Christian nation isn't even true.
But it was way more Christian than it is today.
Oh,
that's what I fight for.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it wasn't all. I think the smart people were like the atheists at the time, but the regular town folk, the farmers, believed in Christ. So I think that's how it was. You think that You think they're all
They
sinners
were,
and
yeah,
shit?
they were kind of like from what
Degenerates? You're
I've read.
calling the farmers degenerate back then?
I mean, compared to today, they're saints, but so was everyone.
Yeah.
But like
Not so
back then,
much.
they were the degenerates. Like, and a lot of the churches that were started in America had like roots that were kind of shady. And I can't. I wish I better prepared for that topic. I could tell you more about it, but like I just know a lot of them had like weird roots, like snake oil salesmen, that sort of thing.
Just like those fucking Mormons are all snake oil salesmen. Joseph Smith was a Freemason. But now, hold on. Where would you wind the clock back to where Christianity makes sense?
I don't know. That's the I question if there's ever like
I know
I
there's a certain pope at a certain time that was beheading Freemasons. That has to be the peak of Christianity. That's what I think.
okay, do you know
But I'm just a comedian. I'm not talking about this anymore.
okay. No, I don't I question sometimes like sometimes I wonder if romanticizing the past or the future is like from the devil because you're not living in the present.
Whoa.
Yeah, because like so like this is a common theme in history. They always romanticize the past. You always think your ex was better than they were, that friendship, that time in your life. Like, and I almost think that's like evil in a way. I haven't thought too much through like
No, it
the
is a
morality of thoughts. I
100% you're right. That's a mockery of who you're around right now. Like to think about your past friend, past ex-girlfriend,
yeah.
that's a mockery of the friend sitting on your couch next to you
Oh,
or your
really?
girlfriend. Think about it.
Huh.
That's evil. Imagine they could hear your thoughts. They'd be heartbroken. They'd be like, it's like if I'm around my best friend and I'm thinking of this other dude I used to party with, and he'd be like, damn, we're not as close as I thought we were. So you're right. Romanticizing the past. Yeah, there's so much evil there.
Like I don't know. I just think every time period's gonna have its like pros and cons.
What are the pros of this time period?
Uh,
Zero. You can't even beat up women
I
anymore.
can't think of any, but I'm sure there's.
Kidding.
I mean, there's no plagues, you know.
Oh, you believe this stuff, the
Oh,
plagues.
oh,
And I don't buy
you
it.
don't believe in the plague?
I think it was just like COVID. They fucked with you. They fucked with you for COVID. They fucked with you with the
Huh.
bubonic plague. And throughout history, like there's so much lying through history. Like history is the most lie. If the news is fake, imagine the history books. Like all of history is fake.
I was arguing with someone about like this historical event, and they were like, "Oh, she's ignorant," and I was just like, "Here's point A, why you're wrong. Here's the stat to back it up.
Bro,
Point B, point C."
if you believe the timeline of history, find me one technology that evolved the way we got this kind of stuff, like microphones, cell phones, stone ages for thousands of years, and then randomly, boom, we got computers in like nothing has, and there's no technology that's ever evolved like that, where for thousands of years it's one tool, and then boom, we're top dog. It has to be linear. That's how technology develops. It has to be, meaning that timeline got a lot smaller now. And the top rabbis in Israel that get like the Netanyahu and all those guys like bowed to, they all say the earth is 6,000 years old. What all the money on earth is saying the earth is 6,000 years old, or am I going to listen to a government school kid who says dinosaurs?
Really? So you think the Earth is 6,000 years old?
Everyone in the Vatican, every top rabbi, and every top Saudi cleric, all the tops of power, money, royalty, they all say the earth is 6,000 years old. None of them talk about dinosaurs. They laugh at you. They don't, if you talk about dinosaurs or aliens with them, they laugh at you.